Carolyn Leavitt, who is the White House press secretary, she's the press briefing today where she speaks on behalf of the White House, and she suggested that Iran could potentially have a timetable of a couple weeks. But what we're seeing from the Iranian regime is just intense, crazy rhetoric. Just the Ayatollah Khamenei saying that Iran will never surrender and is a big warning to the U.S. And this is there. If you look at he's a very prominent tweeter or someone on his behalf. So the Iranian regime is really big on X, the Everything app. It's just very odd world we're in, but that's a very popular place on X, the Everything app for Iranians. And they are just absolutely as strident as they were weeks ago when they were in much better position than they are now against Trump and Israel, where Israel's completely demolished much of their air defenses. They're in complete control of Iranian airspace, and they've done tons of damage to their ballistic missiles and missile capacity. And as people have been pointing out, every time Iran fires another missile, often in Israel, which is not having a lot of success, then we just know where more missiles are and where they're coming from. So it's really bad. They're in terrible shape. And I think Trump is kind of shocked by this, and he should be, because Trump, I think, is used to dealing with people who act rationally. And there are people who are motivated by different things than we are. But there is a logic to things Putin does. There's a logic to things Kim Jong-un does. There's a lot of logic to what Xi Jinping does. But Iran not operating entirely logically, and I think that's very strange to Trump, is that they've been decimated, they're unpopular, their defenses are weak, they don't have a real ability to build up quickly, they're going to keep getting pummeled by Israel for the foreseeable future, and yet they're not really giving an inch. The only logic on a rational level, I could see why they wouldn't back down to some degree, would be because they think the point's moot, that Trump is going to attack or he's not, and there's no, and so they may as well talk tough. But it just doesn't seem like they're willing to come to the table. And Trump has been saying this. He's been saying they should have come to the table weeks ago. There could have been more peace, and I totally agree with Trump. So he is apparently has a new offer out as of early this morning, or not early this morning, but right before I started recording. Trump's got a new offer to Iran, and it seems pretty simple. Stop funding the proxies, stop nuclear enrichment. You can have nuclear, just you can't enrich it beyond civilian levels. There are other nations in the Middle East who are not, I would say, great actors who are developing nuclear energy without having nuclear weapons. But Iran wants a nuclear weapon. They have for a long time. There is, of course, a lot of debate, and I have no inside information on who's correct, but Trump suggests that they could be just a few weeks off from a nuclear bomb. And we don't want that, because that would also create another nuclear arms race in the region. We don't want that. So there's no good that could come from that.